Greetings, fellow captains, and welcome back to another episode of World of Warships with the Hive Hand. And today we are looking at the brand new premium tier 5 Hung Yi. Yes, that's not only the third video in a row, 3 days on the trot, which honestly having the new PC has helped with this massively. The time it takes to like render videos and stuff actually saving has been huge. Turns out one of the SSD drives on old PCs was knackered, besides the PC being very old, which just led to complications after complications after complications with stuff. So this will be the return, I think, of almost, well, at least Monday to Friday daily content being produced again by the channel. So, Hung Yi, let's introduce ourselves, shall we? The Hung Yi is actually, I remember the name right, I believe it's an Artheus class British cruiser, but technically counter-destroyer cruiser is what the ship actually was actually designed for. A sister ship, a sister class to the Leander, the Arthas class, were actually Arthas class were actually basically the cheap version of the Leander. Essentially, as you can see from its hull design, it looks very much like a Leander. It has one less turret, but it becomes more apparent when you look at the Leander itself. Firstly, Leanders are much bigger boats, so yes, they do share various design features, but yeah, the Leander is significantly bigger than the Hung Yi. Hung Yi is different in the fact that it has the Pan-Asian torpedoes, so these deep water torpedoes, so you're not going to be able to hit DDs with them. A triple launcher on either side instead of the 4x2s, which can be fired individually on the British cruisers. And the next and probably the most significant difference, besides having one less turret, these are not in fact British guns. These are, in fact, Soviet guns. So the firing characteristics of the Hung Yi are completely different to the British. Whereas the British, we can lob shots over islands. Our shells have reasonably high firing arcs. These are much faster, much higher velocity guns. So they have probably, I believe, they have better penetration angles as well. But obviously you're missing out on an entire turret as well. This could be good news for the Australians out there, because this is the sister ship to the Perth. Yes, that's right. So, but I believe on PC as well, Perth is a higher tier ship. So this ship is completely unique. It's not a reskin of anything else. There's nothing else in the game like it. This is entirely unique, at least until we get the Perth, if we ever do get the Perth. So go with some pros and cons, shall we? Right, okay, so pros: gunnery performance and ballistics are gonna be good. We know they're going to be good. I've only had a couple of games, as you can see, but we know the ballistics are going to be very good. Fire rate is pretty good. I believe it is, if we check, it's in the 6 seconds for the reload, 6.7 seconds. Really good. It is, if we look at maneuverability, 34 knots, 6.7 rudder shift, 570 meter turning circle. We're talking better than the Japanese destroyers, besides rudder shift. So, very, very agile ship. It's quite small, so you'd think it would have a low detection rate, but actually, in all fairness, 10.2 kilometers. It's not fantastic, and I am running, look at me now. So I've already taken 6% off that. And Jezza Swirsky on there as well, giving an extra 3.6. That's 9. That's almost 10. That's close enough to 10% off. So stock, this has over 11 kilometer detection range, which, let's be honest, for a cruiser is particularly great. So 14% fire chance. So the fire chance is pretty high. 3,300 maximum AP shell damage. If a cruiser goes broadside to you, 9 guns, 6.5 second reload. This thing is potentially going to really hurt. I said deep water torpedoes, so low detectability range, but they have an 8 kilometer 60 knot speed. We have a smoke generator, generates smoke screen behind this ship. This, I think, is actually noted incorrectly, because to me, I read that as it's just a normal smoke screen. Yeah? Okay, so let's have a look. Let's have a look at the Mahan, for example, just because it's right next to it. Generates smoke behind the ship that reduces the risk of being detected by the enemy. Why? Okay. There's a pattern here. Oh, there's a pattern emerging. Right, okay. So if we look at the Trento, exhaust smoke generator uses ship's exhaust fumes to create a smoke screen, reduce the risk of being detected by the enemy whilst moving at full speed. Right, okay. So, what does that tell you? Answer in the comments below. Before we get any further, what type of smoke screen does this ship have? Does this ship have a regular smoke screen? Or does it have exhaust smoke? Go on, drop a comment. What do you think? And let's see how many people will write when we take this ship out for a spin. So there are obviously, with every ship, some negatives. First of all, very weak armor. It's essentially 16 mil all around, so 238 millimeters of penetration. You need to overmatch the bow on this. That means the Tier 6 Cheshire can overmatch it. The Graf Spee, a Tier 5, can overmatch it. And every single battleship can overmatch it. So unless you take it on the belt, which, let's see if we can just expose the belt armor. Belt armor should be here. Yeah, belt armor is here. So yeah, unless you take it there on the belt. Sorry, I've to see exactly how. 16,270. So unless you take it on your belt, which is directly above your citadel, you're gonna take damage. If you look through the front of the citadel, it's again 16, or possibly the upper above the citadel is 26. Yeah, the citadel is really weak, like really weak. But the citadel is kind of small, so it is entirely to the rear of the ship. There is no citadel below the front guns, so that might be a little bit of a saving grace. But then there comes the next problem. So as you can see, below our turrets are barbettes, which is what houses our magazines, which is when they're hit, they're the thing that causes a detonation. 19 mil. So that's 16 mil of outer armor, 19 mil of inner armor. And bear with me 1 second whilst we do some quick maths. I should have brought this up. I only just realised this, so I'm doing this on the fly. So 19 times by 14.3 gives us 271 millimeter guns. Will actually penetrate the barbettes and potentially cause detonation hits. So, yeah, Graf Spee can potentially detonate this. Any battleship will detonate this, or has a higher chance of detonating the Hung-Yi for sure. So that's definitely a problem. The spread of the torpedoes, you can't fire them individually as you could with the British, because it is the Pan-Asian torpedoes, the deep water ones. You only fire in a spread, and the spread is very, very narrow. But just to point out, its AA is actually really good. So AA defense is, it's weird to explain, because if you look at the defensive ratings, they don't really tell the whole story. What you want is good outer defense. By the time you get into 2 kilometers, which is your innermost defense, it's too late. They're already dropping bombs by that point. But the outer defense, 78 damage per second at 5 kilometers, is actually pretty good. You know, you're not going to save yourself from getting dropped, but you're definitely going to hurt a carrier. But that'll be quite good for supporting your battleships. So staying within 5 kilometers of your battleships, you know, depending on which direction. If they fly over you, yeah, it's going to really hurt. But once they finish their first attack run, or even during their first attack run, you're going to be able to do significant damage to aircrafts with them. Although I wouldn't suggest playing this boat specifically as anti-AA. I know it's weird because it's a DD hunter. Looking for DDs really is what it does, or what it does best. But we're going to put sonar back on. But detection of ships of only 4 kilometers on sonar, no radar. It feels like it's quite limited in this role as well. Right, okay, so let's jump into a game and see how she performs. And this ship's making me think of sorting out a grading system for premium ships, instead of me just giving you my honest opinion, which I've always done. I've always told you exactly what I think of the ships. I'm genuinely thinking we can have an interesting, some interesting discussions on a grading system. Hung-Yi so far for me has achieved an overall grading of Trash Panda. A couple of very simple reasons why I think this boat is not good. I think it's fun. I've definitely had some fun playing it, but its ability to sort of win matches is quite low. You can't really kite in it because your firing range is too short, and you can't really. Well, I suppose you could probably with a DD commander. You could build more for kiting. And yeah, look, I got controller. I think, was that controller drift or was that just me? I think I'm gonna need new controller. Yeah, I'm not touching it, and yeah, we're getting controller drift. And after just a couple of months of usage on the PlayStation 5 controller, also gets grading of Trash Panda because it's already drifting. Yeah, it can't kite really. It's not particularly good at hunting destroyers. Yeah, look at that. That's annoying. That's not me turning the camera. That is literally the camera just turning itself. Which this is obviously going to be a problem. A Talon. This thing against a Talon and a Doria. Yeah, let's maybe try and avoid that fight. Although, see that Leander, our sister ship there. Actually, Russian guns though. Russia versus Russia. Come on, for the motherland. Not aiming back at us. Oh, that was dreadful. that was not the salvo we wanted, hoped for, or expected. And unfortunately, that Leander seemed to have been spotting everything over this side. And now that he has gone undetected through his smoke. See if we can do any significant damage. Oh, see, Russian guns. Very nice. Can you see that drifting going on there? Right, Talon's angling in towards us. Talon's now angling out towards us. I don't want to shoot at him unless he's broadside. Yeah, oh, you would have hoped for Citadel. Right, he's gone. It's just that Königsberg coming round now. Although we do have a Bayern to worry about. And our smoke screen gone that the Leander left us. So, my God, look at the drift on this controller is infuriating. Alright, he's coming in at a bit of an angle. Yeah, look how tight that torpedo grouping is. So I'm expecting him to try and sort of bow tank those others. And hopefully that gives us a very nice angle. Russian guns. That's what's going to make this boat very fun. That right there. Right, question is, am I the guy spotting this Bayern? Right, so what we're going to do... Remember when I asked you that question, what type of smoke generator has this got? Smoke generator started. Right. Can you see our smoke's about to run out? Nope. Now, this might not be a smoke generator that we can use travelling at full speed. But this very much looks like rolling smoke to me. Iron's gonna turn, yeah, he turned out. I don't think our AP is gonna do anything to him. He has obviously already put out a fire. And his damage controllability will still be running, but hopefully we won't let that get to us. We'll continue spamming HE. 14% fire chance. You'd expect maybe we'd start getting fires now. Yes, great. Hopefully we can set another one. There we go, there's our second. Third salvo. Doesn't matter because he is dead. Fairness, this has been a fairly uneventful game. But this is what average games are like. There's no point in me posting every single video. Granted, the Brandenburg, that was my third match. I played like 10 matches in that ship. I reckon 8 of them have been over 100,000. There's been Krakens involved, and all sorts. So, honestly, not really a particularly wild game for the Brandenburg, but I think this is how I'm going to review new ships and give my first impressions from now on. Literally do it live, and whatever will be, because that's honest. Like, if I literally just go, right, I'll play 10 games, pick my best games, oh, here's this new ship, it's absolutely amazing, look at me, Giga Chad, then I don't think it really helps anyone. So, part of me wants to get over here and get into the fight. Part of me wants to, I'm gonna do it. Look at this turn-in radius. Look at how quick this thing turns. Okay, it's not the most agile of destroyers, but think about what happens when you play Japanese DDs. Look at that. Look at that turn-in radius. That is ridiculous. Quite good for sneaking away from battleships. And yeah, actually, point of note, please comment below. Let me know. Is that or is that not exhaust smoke? I think that's exhaust smoke. Like, that says exhaust smoke to me all day long. The fact that I'm sailing around with a fairly consistent puff of smoke, that says, like, that's exhaust smoke, right? Can't be anything else. Right, so let's test out its armor, shall we? Like, we've won this match. There's nothing I say or do at this point is gonna change the output outcome of this game. Like, this game is won. Russian firing angles, like yeah, just look at the shell arcs. Yeah, Citadel in Nuremberg's from 12 kilometers out, you know, just as you do. That should be the end of him, in all fairness. Someone else finished him off. Actually, Russian guns, maybe broadside Normandy. This is actually a fine time to try out stupid stuff. Let's go for the upper belt first. Yes, we can pen the upper belt on a mildly angled Normandy. Okay, not particularly consistent. Apparently we can dodge all their shots though. That's New Mexico. New Mexico upper belt. New Mexico firing HE because reasons. Yeah, HE through the nose. Yes. Citadel. Yeah, nah, you're only ever gonna shatter on the Citadel of that. And unfortunately we didn't get to see what the torpedoes did because the match is won. So, yeah, as you can see, I had some prime opportunities there. There was the fires on the Bayern, although granted he got killed a bit quick. Three broadside cruisers that we got to abuse. Even scoring 5 Citadel hits, we still only managed to squeeze 40,000 damage out of a match that we were essentially there till the end. You know, we did well. 2,000 base XP, coming second in our team to the Hatsuharu. But yeah, like, we won. I had a good game, but the ship, like I said, it's fun. Doing that to cruisers is fun. But you know, predominantly you don't see that many cruisers really. It's usually battleships and DDs. Battleships you don't want to mess with. DDs you kind of do want to mess with, but only if you can get close enough to spot them. And with a 10-kilometer detection range, how often are you going to do that? So, first impressions, fun ship to play. bit of a trash panda as an actual ship. If you get in the ship to win, you're gonna be disappointed. If you're gonna get the ship for fun and because you like doing stuff like that to cruisers, definitely the way to go. It's an interesting ship. It's very unique. It has a very long history. I believe, if I was right, it was sold to China originally, but a year into its service, it joined Taiwan, which, depending on which side of the fence you sit on that one, whether Taiwan is a country on its own or just a rebel state of China, that's a whole political debate I am not going to get into. But it does give the ship some very interesting history, and maybe we'll do a nice extended history video on that sometime in the near future. So anyway, thank you very much for everyone who stopped by. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, as always, until next time, take care.